Hi, everybody. I'm Clay with Clay Martin Homes at the Cutting Edge Realtors, and I started this YouTube channel to help seniors and their families navigate the emotional journey of downsizing and selling their lifelong home and going into independent or sometimes assisted living. A question I hear all the time is, I don't want to do that. How can I stay in my home as long as possible? Well, today's episode is all about that. I'm going to be sitting down and talking with Phil Stafford from Independent Home Living, and he's going to talk to us about how to improve and modify your home so you can stay in it as long as possible. If you're watching this and wondering if your home or your parents' home is safe for the years ahead, don't wait until a fall happens to start planning. Small changes today can make a big difference for tomorrow. Phil, thank you so much for being here today. Let's jump right in.
All right, you bet.
Awesome. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with independent home living?
Well, native of Colorado Springs, actually grew up on the north end of town. I remember Academy Boulevard as a dirt road and maintained dirt road back way to the Air Force Academy. So, seen a lot of changes. I worked in recreation, bicycles, and skis out of college and somehow gravitated towards working a little bit more with seniors in the durable medical equipment, home medical equipment, respiratory service industry. Went from Durango to Grand Junction, Denver to Colorado Springs, growing a respiratory company, and was in literally thousands of homes and saw the need for home modifications and people wanting to stay at home. So, in addition to that, my mother had multiple sclerosis, so early 1980s, I started to do grab bars and railings and ramps for her. And a very good friend who happens to be an attorney gave me some advice to not do that anymore until I formed a LLC
Right.
and got a bunch of insurance. And so I opened up Independent Home Living in 2009.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, would you say like your inspiration in starting that was kind of being in the business, but helping your mom? Like that was the
Started out helping my mom and seeing the need of people with mobility issues and wanting to stay at home, and then in work, traveling around and seeing home respiratory equipment, durable medical equipment, home medical equipment, and the need of home modifications. I was a little bit ahead of the curve with the aging population, but started doing that and then formally formed the business, as I said, in 2009.
okay, cool. What do you love most about the business?
Connecting with seniors
Okay,
and connecting with not always seniors, sometimes they're younger folks with mobility issues, but really giving them the independence and the security and staying at home if they want to stay at home, and giving them that independence of being able to get out safely from the house, either with ramps or stair lifts,
yeah,
things like that.
yeah, I think that's great. When you are in, you said you've been in thousands of homes, so I think there might be a reoccurring thing or a reoccurring multiple things that you see in homes that are big safety issues. Talk a little bit about what those safety issues are that you see, like the most common ones.
The most, well, grab bars in the bathroom and grab bars in the shower, bathtub area around the toilet, anything related to stairs and obstacles. Clutter. People like to stack things around stairs. And in general, anything that can cause a tripping hazard or falling downstairs, trying to remove those obstacles, either with a stair lift or a ramp, or adding extra railings in the house.
Okay, and then like I've always thought when we helped my grandfather go from, they lived in a two-story house with a basement. Bedrooms were upstairs, entertainment was on the main level. And when he started having mobility issues, we got him transitioned from the upstairs to the main level. They actually had a bathroom and a shower. It was kind of set up for that. Um, but multiple step ups throughout the house.
Mhm.
So like the grab bars, I thought were just only meant or used in the bathroom, but what we found out was like any step up, like up into the front door, out of the back door onto the sunroom, in the bathroom, the first step going upstairs, grab bars. But the other thing was when he eventually used a cane and a walker or rugs. Uh, Never thought that rugs would be like as much of a tripping hazard until you have somebody that shuffles more than they pick their feet up and walk.
Sure, removing throw rugs, and throw rugs, especially when the corners start to get rolled up.
Mm-hmm.
Once that happens, those rugs need to go. You mentioned grab bars around stairs. It's not only something to hold on to, but it's also a visual cue of a stair.
Okay.
You get people coming over, friends, relatives visiting. They're not as aware of the obstacles and the steps in a house. So having those grab bars there helps with the visual cue as well as something to hold on to.
Okay.
But those throw rugs, they definitely can create tripping hazards.
Okay.
The other thing is animals. We love our pets, but big dogs knock people down, and little dogs people trip over.
Absolutely. I have a little dog, and she's always, especially in the kitchen, thinking
Right,
something's gonna
right
drop.
underneath your feet.
uh, Tell us, in your experience, like working with this population, uh, you know, I help people transition from one place to another, but a lot of conversations are like, I don't want to move to a place. I'm comfortable in my home. I want to stay in my home as long as I can. Can you kind of help me or help these folks like figure out what's the big reason why people want to stay in their homes as long as they possibly can?
Studies show that over 80%, near 90% of the people do want to stay in their home,
Okay.
and what's called age in place.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends, your neighbors, the familiar surroundings of the home. I'm often told by folks who are quite senior citizens, there's a lot of old people in those assisted living communities, and they don't necessarily want to do that. Um, the other component of that is a lot of the homes are paid for,
Mm-hmm.
and people's financial plan is staying there, and they don't have the means or haven't planned ahead for the tremendous expense of assisted living. Uh, Cheaper to stay at home, and people generally want to stay at home. Having said that, the social isolation, if they don't have good friends and neighbors, it often is a good thing to do a move into a community
Absolutely.
and to be around other people. So it's a give and take.
Absolutely. Um, let's see here. What room in the house would you say is the most dangerous room in the house that people really need to pay attention to, or adult kids can maybe help their aging mom and dad do an assessment?
Uh, Definitely the bathroom. Studies show that that 2 a.m. bathroom run. Um, our emergency medical services are quite busy throughout the night due to that bathroom run. But stepping over a tub into a tub rail into a tub, slipping in the showers, falls around the toilet is definitely in that bathroom area. The other area, surprisingly, is the steps in and out of the garage and garage into the house.
Okay.
Um, People are often carrying something, thinking about other things, getting ready to go into the car, and many falls take place in that garage into the residential kitchen or whatever, in and out of the house into the garage and those stairs. I often put in grab bars and railings right in that transition from garage to house.
Okay. And then in so both, like what recommended um things would you put into place to prevent fall in the entrance from the garage to the house and in the bathroom besides grab bars? Is there anything else that folks can make note of?
Well, in the garage, railings on both sides, grab bars, enough to hold on to with both hands. Often a very small shelf, so you can put a purse or a bag of groceries or something that you're carrying down when you're messing with the lock.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
just to assist people with paying attention and getting in and out of the house. Regarding the bathroom, floor to ceiling safety poles, obviously the grab bars, better bath mats, so you reduce your risk of slipping and falling
Okay.
in the bathroom.
And is there, maybe this is a good, maybe it's bad, but like benches in the shower, is sitting down easier than standing up?
Shower chairs and what's called tub transfer benches are very good safety things. Raised toilet seats with arms, handheld showers, things like that, so you can remain in a seated position in the bathtub. Many durable medical equipment devices can assist with that.
Okay. And are there any modifications that people think they need that you really talk them out of? Like, it's money better spent one way versus another way?
I don't necessarily talk them out of things, but a lot of folks, I will pick on the walk-in tubs a little bit. Um, they seem very nice on your color glossy brochure.
Yeah.
Often they drain slower. You need a bigger water heater because they require 50 to 60 gallons. And if you fill it up 80, 90% with warm water and then your water goes cold, you need a larger water heater. Um, and they can be very expensive, and some people don't use them as much.
Okay.
In general, something that gives a safer environment are good ideas. It's just I think the biggest factor is the denial of I don't need something like that,
Yeah. Okay.
and I can make do with what I have.
Okay. Um, I will say, like, there have been conversations where, like, people are like, I can't afford to have, just without an assessment or a consult, price comes into factor with most things. And they're like, I can't afford to have somebody come in and do a complete renovation on my home to make it accessible. But would you say that folks can make proper modifications with 500 or $1,000? If so, like, what are some simple things that they can do to make living in their home safer?
Um, yes, home modifications can be very expensive. You can start with just decluttering the house, getting rid of those throw rugs, and making safer traffic patterns for no money at all.
Okay.
For a few $100s, you can get some grab bars put in, some extra railings. You should have railings on both sides of stairs. And yes, $500 to $1,000, you can modify quite a few things. When you do get into ramps and stair lifts, and especially bathroom remodels, of course, the cost goes up quite a bit. Uh, the other thing to consider is 4 or 5 months in an assisted living
Yep.
would offset the cost of a very expensive bathroom remod.
Absolutely.
And it comes down to what are the resources of a person or family, and how much do they want to stay at home.
Absolutely. Um, I feel like a lot of times these conversations come up when the adult kids are visiting. So, say around the holidays, right? Um, from a professional viewpoint, what are some things that adult kids can look for when they're visiting mom and dad to help prevent a potential fall in the future?
That's a tough one.
Okay.
um, I get some complaints from some of my clients that my kids are bossing me around and my kids are telling me what to do, and I will often let those clients know that they're very fortunate that their kids do care and that their kids are involved in their life, because a lot of people don't have that.
Yep.
If a child comes to town, checking the refrigerator, checking meds, seeing how mom and dad are doing, watching them the way they can ambulate around a house.
Okay.
Are there is there enough food? Is the food old and expired? How are they doing with their meds? Any new dings or scratches on the car, things like that, and just see how they're doing getting around the house. checking in with neighbors. Uh, the denial factor is huge, and everything's fine. We don't need anything. But to get the true picture when they do visit, and then to surround mom or dad with folks like me on the home modifications, but you have many good non-medical and skilled medical companies in town, either companion care or skilled medical, that can come in and help. Doesn't have to be 24/7,
Right.
but just another set of eyes.
Yeah. Another set of eyes, and what we've noticed is you said it, the skilled companion, right? But having somebody to talk to a couple times a week,
Yeah,
because like I have seen it in my own family, going from being with somebody for 50, 60 years, and just having a full time sidekick, if you will, right, to not having that,
yeah,
and then being able to. I know my grandmother kept our one of the caretakers around to help out around the house, and she comes a couple times a week just to kind of help out with simple chores, but also somebody to talk to
yeah.
that not a friend or a family member, right?
Yeah, that companionship is crucial, and the social isolation is one factor. When people want to stay at home, I'll often look at, if you improve a house, is it going to be the most expensive house in the neighborhood, kind of in your line of work?
Right.
But mainly, how are the neighbors? Do you have really good neighbors that take care of you and that care about you and come in and check? That's a true factor of somebody staying at home.
Absolutely. I just interviewed Kaylee Napo with the Colorado Springs
Yep.
Fire Department
Yep.
last week, and her counterpart. And they had something really cool that I had never heard of before. But instead of kind of leaving them independent but still communicating in a nonverbal way, was opening their garage a couple inches every morning just to let them know that they're fine for the neighbors to see that,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll close it at night.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a simple cue to let you know I'm good, I
Yeah.
don't need anything.
Yeah.
But if there was like a fall and she couldn't open that garage door a couple inches, they would know to come check on her.
Yeah.
And I would like that because it still gave them privacy, it still gave them independence, but it was still like a simple I'm fine, I don't need help. And if that ever didn't happen, they would know to go check.
Yeah.
And I really love that.
That's a great concept, and Kaylee and her team are wonderful folks. I actually do work with them,
Hmm.
and if a frequent caller or a frequent faller,
Hmm.
they've called me in, and I've been able to assist with some grab bars. We are actually helping to sponsor their talk at the Senior Expo coming up in Gage.
Okay.
So I work very closely with Kaylee and her team.
I love it. She's good
Great,
people.
great folks.
Let's talk about a consult process. What does that look like if somebody wants to call you, have you come out and do an assessment on their house and make some necessary modifications?
People can call me, and I will gladly come out and do an assessment. If they know that they need some grab bars, or an occupational therapist or somebody like that has said, "Can you come out and assess for grab bars?" There's no charge for that.
Okay.
I'll come out and take a look. If they need a whole home evaluation, and want a report, there's a cost for that.
Okay.
Which, if they end up doing a job, that cost is taken right off the job.
Okay.
I work with multiple different general contractors. I am a general contractor, but have chosen to work with other contractors, pull in the permits. I specialize much more on the medical side, and working in conjunction with PTs and OTs,
Okay.
nursing agencies, such as that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think we kind of covered it before multiple times, but when you're doing a consult, what are you simply looking for? Are you looking for those high traffic areas? Leaning on the door frame when they're walking in and out, trip hazards, all of that good stuff.
All of that, I like to literally take them either virtually or a true walking tour. Get out of your car.
Hmm.
Is it in a garage or outside? How do you get into the house? What are your traffic patterns? Do you have a microwave that's built in and up high, which can be a point of spilling hot fluids?
Yep.
So how do they get around the kitchen? What are their traffic patterns? Your sunken living rooms, all your multiple stairs. Do they have exterior stairs, especially if they're on the north side of the house,
Hmm.
that don't get the winter sun
Right.
and they're icy? Do they have good slip proof mats and such? Do they have somebody that can shovel for them? And then navigating into the house, do they sleep upstairs and have to navigate a set of stairs all the time? Do they need a stair lift? Of course, the bathroom.
Okay.
um, and literally walking them through the whole house. Those throw rugs, I mentioned that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then to assist them in also just some ideas that don't cost a lot of money. Can you move some of your belongings that you need access to into an easier place rather than needing to get up on a step ladder?
Okay.
Home improvements. I'm called in many, many, many times after somebody's fallen off a ladder. So that's back to your adult kids coming and visiting. Do they have a good handyman? Do they have a neighbor that can help them? Are they cleaning their own gutters when they're in their 80s or 90s and up on a tall ladder? All of those things are huge sources of falls. And a bad fall like that can be a life changing event.
Absolutely. So you mentioned the microwave. Oftentimes they're mounted up above, and they can be hard to get into.
Yeah.
Well, I helped a senior client of mine transition from her home into a independent living community here in town, and it wasn't 5 days, a week later, she called me. She was like, "Clay, I can't use my microwave." And I asked her, why can't you? And she was like, "Well, I can't. I don't have that type of shoulder mobility."
Yeah.
And I think she had frozen shoulders.
Yep.
So I went and got her a mic because it was like mounted, like she couldn't move it. So I went and got her a microwave and put it on her counter, and she's like, a simple change made all the difference. And
That's
she does
exactly
use
right.
the other microwave now for storage,
Yep.
which I'm not quite sure. I'm sure she can get up there
Yeah.
for storage purposes, but not the everyday functionality of a microwave.
I've had that exact situation many times of leave your built in because the new homeowner's going to want it, but go buy an inexpensive microwave, figure out some counter space. It's down at a safe level. A hot bowl of soup can be a very high burn potential
Hmm.
pulling it out, especially if you're reaching up high. So small things like that and counter space
Yeah.
assist greatly in navigating the kitchen.
Okay. Um, Back to the consult piece, I just want to know how much time do you set aside for a consult so folks can kind of be prepared when they do call you?
It depends on the level of the evaluation and the amount of questions they have. A consult can be 15 to 30 minutes. You need three grab bars, one on the back of the shower, one by the toilet, one getting in and out of the tub. In and out, we'd schedule an appointment. I would install the bars, or I would do it right then.
Okay.
To about 2 hours of
Okay.
walking through a whole house. If they are doing a bathroom remodel and we pull out a lot of tubs and tub conversions to walk in showers, those can take a while. And it's just the first part of it because once a contractor comes in, are these load bearing walls? How can we change this? Expanding doorways. And then they start to choose materials and colors. And so it can be a much more in depth evaluation. Stair lifts and ramps, those can be pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Half an hour to an hour. Um, Checking out the rise over run and figuring out the landscaping and how you can navigate a ramp in there. I'm always a little bit intrigued on a flat lot, but they've got four stairs going into a house, and when it could have been built with a zero entry.
I think I feel like zero entry should be a part of every home.
Right.
So just to kind of, he mentioned a couple of things that you guys may not have picked up on, and a couple of things, and I'll have you expand on. Um, Entryways into doors, right? So for us, we're walking, they're narrow. We don't think about it twice. But for somebody that's in a wheelchair, a wider door is going to make it more accessible for the wheelchair. Um, and ADA compliance, you're going to have 5 foot turnarounds in bathrooms.
Mhm.
And these are things that if you're walking on 2 feet, you really don't think twice about. But when you are confined to a chair or even navigating with a walker, uh, it makes for an easier transition in and out of doors and turning around in bathrooms. But the big thing is what's called a zero drop entry. I'm willing to bet if you go to your front door and just look down, they will be what, like a 4 inch, maybe a 5 inch step down. And sometimes it's completely unnecessary unless there is a reason from a contractor or builder
Right.
standpoint that I may not know about. But once I learned about that ADA compliance and zero drop entry about 6 years ago, it blew my mind. I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your classic 1970s tri-level house in this town has 24-inch doors. You're not getting a walker in there. You're certainly not getting a wheelchair in there. Um, the builders, there are reasons to have drop downs. If you get a little bit of snow, it's hard to swing out a storm door. But sometimes you can navigate or modify that with a slider,
Okay.
and you don't need the swing out doors.
Right.
But not having a barrier, an obstacle in the front, and fire department, back to Kaylee's team, they would like you to have two accessible egresses in and out of a house. If there's a fire in the front, you can get out the back.
Yep.
And it might be a ramp off of a back deck or something like that. But if you have that 6-inch step onto your deck, then you need a mini ramp to get onto the deck and then a ramp to get off the deck and around the house.
Right. Okay. Um, yeah, it's always been fascinating with me to see kind of how functional a house can be
Yeah.
if you're walking around on 2 feet,
Yeah.
and how difficult it can be for somebody that has a major life change. You know.
Yeah. And in your line of work, selling homes, people will buy homes in their 30s and 40s and never even think of all the stairs.
Yep.
If they have a trauma or a life changing event, or they want to age in place, that changes things greatly.
Absolutely.
It's called universal design.
Universal design. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. What mistakes do you see that seniors make, or their families make when navigating this? My first reaction is they wait until a fall's already happened
Mm-hmm.
until they make these changes. But is there anything else that comes to mind for you?
Waiting too long and the denial factor. It's like anything. If you've got a plan and you plan ahead, it's easier than a reactive state. If somebody falls and breaks a hip or has a bad fall and they're in the hospital, then it's a step down facility and often a very rushed modification to get them home for discharge.
Okay.
Other things are cutting corners and saying, well, we can get by with this, rather than thinking things through and possibly building a ramp. If you're having cement work done, rather than building stairs, that would be the time to navigate a nice meandering zero entry ramp up into the front door.
Yeah.
So that lack of planning and then the denial factor of, no, we don't need it, we don't, we're fine, or we'll take care of it later.
Right. So it's funny you mentioned the denial factor. My next question is really, what do you say to those people that say, I'll wait and deal with it later? Meaning they're kind of in denial, like they're not there yet, but they can be there very soon.
That's something that I've learned you can't push.
Yeah.
I try to I work with a tremendous amount of adult children, and to let them know what my assessment is on their mom and dad, and have them push a little bit more.
Okay.
Um, the other part is, they've got my contact information. I let them know I'm more than happy to help them out, but they're the captain of that ship, and they determine when they want that done.
Leaving the power in their hands, which is where it
Push a
belongs.
little bit too hard, and generally that's not well received.
Right. I completely agree. Um, this is the part where I call story time. Do you have a story about a client or a family that you have helped that was just really life changing or impactful that you'd like to share?
Many, many, many stories of uh, lady who said that she had not been out of her house for almost 2 years and had groceries delivered and other things like that. Not even medical care. Landlocked in her house. And with some modifications and especially a ramp, she was able to get out.
Okay.
On the other side of the age factor, we had a pediatric case with a 9-year-old girl confined to a wheelchair. She was a wheelchair user, and she had been lifted in and brought upstairs by her dad for years, which is tough on the wheelchair, tough on the patient, tough on dad. And we put in a vertical platform lift, which you roll onto, and it lifts up and has a platform into the door. And the look on her face when she rode up at the first time, um, there literally was not a dry eye in the whole garage.
That's cool.
It was a pretty meaningful thing. But I often get reviews and compliments and gratitude of, we feel so much safer.
Yeah.
We feel so much safer and more independent in our house.
That I think you said safer. I was gravitating to the independence. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing like having your own independence.
Yep.
And when you are declining or you have gone through a major life event, it's stolen from you.
Yeah.
And it feels like that. It was stolen from you. And then to be able to have somebody, a hero more or less, to come in and just say, it was this, but now it's this.
Yeah.
And they have that ability to do it.
And we don't want to be dependent on others. And so very simple modifications can give that independence back.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's incredible. Is there anything that we did not cover today, or that questions that I did not ask that you would like to address?
Having the support system, and we did touch on that a little bit. People need a support system. We talk about independence, but you need those good neighbors. You need those good adult kids, or calling in the companion care non-medical companies. People do need support to stay at home. Uh, Having said that, the social isolation, if you don't have that, then it is time to start to look towards the assisted livings and those retirement communities.
Okay.
It's definitely a fine balance there.
Okay. Well, the last piece of this puzzle is if folks want to reach out to you, how can they get in contact with you? Phone number, website, email, and social
Yeah,
media if you have
yeah.
it.
Phil Stafford, Independent Home Living. My cellular phone is my business line, 719-660-2401. Again, the name of the company is Independent Home Living. Email address is independenthomeliving@gmail.com. And my website is independenthomeliving.solutions.com.
All right. That wraps it up. Phil, thank you so much for
Hey,
being
thank
here
you.
today. I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Yes, sir. We'll see you all next time. Bye. I will make sure to include Phil's contact information in the description below. And if you found value in this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you get notified the next time I drop a video. My goal is simple: to connect seniors and their families with trusted local resources so they can make educated decisions about whatever is next. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.